So this time I should. Oh, let's go. I think we'll do something this time. AKA Mr. Everything Man. Welcome back to my channel of the same name. My content is always 100% original, unedited, unscripted, unrehearsed, and improvised. As you may have seen already, I'm wearing one of maybe 5 to 7 shirts that I use videos. I don't really plan my clothing for the videos. It's just whatever I happen to be wearing already, which, you know, at night, like between midnight and 6 a.m., basically you know, is not much. It was casual attire at my house here, but anyway, it is 2:52 a.m. on the night of January 20th, or the morning of January 21st, 2019. Oh, sorry, that woke anyone up. But it's what does it say? 41 degrees outside, which is for what I'm used to. I know a lot of places, like if it gets up to 40 degrees for a daytime high, like that's considered warm. But here where I live, it's basically a subtropical climate, so we're used to highs in the 80s or 90s, lows in the 60s or 70s, so 60 degrees just basically unprepared for. I mean, it's sad, really, but yeah. But yeah, so it's 41 degrees outside, and in this room, the amount of it's a pretty breezy night, so a lot of air is coming through these windows here. I got a cross breeze, so I'd say it's about 47 degrees in here, probably, which is amazing for inside the room. But it's just localized in this room. I think that's really neat because I got a chair propped up against that door in such a manner that I can basically lock it from the outside, which is really cool. So that a gust of wind comes, it's not going to blow open the door and let all the air out. But I got a towel underneath the bottom of the door on each side, the inside and the outside, to seal it off, so that the air that comes through the windows stays in this room, and doesn't affect the rest of the house. And it's a proven method. I already guaranteed that because it's like 66 or 67 degrees out in the hallway, the rest of the house. So it was 68 degrees when I woke up this morning. So basically, no change really. And yet in here it's 47 degrees, 46, 48, somewhere in the 40s. But anyway, so yeah, I'm live here for the Lavalamp chat. The opportunity for all of y'all to just have a casual, laid back and relaxed chat with me, some random YouTuber that not many people have heard of. So that's me. I'm not playing any characters or any role play because I don't always announce that I am when I am. Like I don't have to put role play on everything. So just know that. I mean, like I said last time, it's about half and half. But Lavalamp chats are part of the ones that are part of the catalog of videos that is me, or at least basically just below 55 degrees. Open, on working and cooperating. It's got to be relatively quiet outside and around the rest of the house. I have to not have to get up really early the next day. I'd have to physically and mentally. I'd have to have not anything else pressing to do right then. Not any workload or anything I need to catch up on or anything like that. And my phone has to cooperate. There has to be really it's not the, around here, so some nights the internet's just be cooperating. YouTube has to be cooperating and not updating or something like that. And my phone has to be fine, fully charged and, enough memory space, you know, all that. So a lot of things have to come into play for that. So at least the part of me that is out and about, during that time period. But yeah, I've been sometimes creepypastas. Believe it or not, I find something soothing about those stories. You can call me whatever you like, but I don't know. I fall asleep with a smile on my face to creepypastas. But that and sometimes I'll just put on like binaural beats, like delta waves or something for sleep. Sometimes it'll be like a sleep hypnosis. Right? Sometimes it'll be like just guided meditation or something like that, or I'll just like fall asleep watching something that's like just kind of funny and just like really like just kind of very non-critical thinking, like a YouTube poop or like a some kind of edited thing or a comedy thing, like you may notice, like a review of something, or a reaction or like something like that. That's just kind of, but yeah, most of the time it's one of those. But I've been uh, falling asleep listening to podcasts, basically, and I already do listen to podcasts somewhat regularly, not necessarily every day, but every week I listen to a few episodes of a few different podcasts. But usually, when I'm doing something else. But but to fall asleep, I like basically generate just anything to learn while you sleep because those are pretty neat. But the yeah, what was I just saying? Oh yeah, so the podcasts, I felt those were kind of a waste because it's like, you know, um, you can like if I'm any podcast that's interesting enough, I wouldn't fall asleep to because it would be intriguing, So that's just how I figured. Like, why would you do that? Like, if you fall asleep to a podcast, there's something wrong. It must be boring. But that's the case for most of them, I find. But there's this one like fall asleep podcast or like sleep with like something sleep podcast or I forget. But it's just this guy, this guy with like a really weird sense of humor that is like an improviser, like and the things are 8 hours long too, so you're supposed to like fall asleep, so like if you wake up you'll go back to sleep, so it's like these podcast episodes and they're so like I kind of remind myself of that right now. Basically it'll just be like talking about something, but it's even more like nonsensical and out there. Like it'll be something like um have you ever wondered your household appliances, like you use those every day, right? I mean they have um, they have a lot of energy in them, you know but when they stop working, I mean, well, they're just out of energy. But where does that energy go? Are these the kind of things you wonder about? What if the energy is actually transferred through a wormhole and it goes to this alternate dimension? You are about to travel to that dimension. That's right. You can befriend your appliances in the Andromeda system. Like, it'll just be something like that, and then it'll just, like, morph from one topic to the next, and just kind of be very surreal and whatever. But not in an immersive, edge of your seat, kind of way. In a very, just, like, kind of boring. Like, it just drags on, and it's just, the point is, just in sleep. You're supposed to get bored with it and just fall asleep. But also, it's just interesting enough to just kind of keeps your mind just focused on like it's a very delicate balance. And so that's one thing. Like if these lava lamp chats are kind of like that, basically, um, then that'd be pretty cool. You just gotta let me know in the comment section what it is for you. The kind of context you watch these under, and what you think of them. So sorry about the coughing. I can't pause a live stream. I don't think I can anyway, but the internet can for reconnecting though. Whatever else. I remember one of I think it was my first one or something. Was yeah, pretty much the same time, and um, it may have even been the same day of the week. I mean, it's a holiday weekend here, basically. So if there was gonna be people up at this hour, it would probably be tonight. But yeah, I gotta get up at 10 a.m., which isn't that early. For a lot of people, they can get up at 6 or 7 or 8 a.m. I can't do that though. I refuse to do that. I will never be a morning person. I don't like mornings. There's nothing appealing about them to me. Just, the daytime in general. It's like I'll get up in the early afternoon, so that I'll have an hour or two or three of daytime, so I can like go outside and go places and do stuff and be like, all right, it's light out, it's different from nighttime, it's kind of cool having the sun out and, having like, the things that come with that. All right, that's fine, but, overall, I want it to be dark out, longer than light out. So it's like, I don't want to just not have the sun though. No, I need sunlight. I'd like to think I have a decent tan. At least I'm not pale or anything. I certainly get a decent amount of sunlight. But if I get up in the early afternoon, it's like still have enough time to go out in the sun. Uh, Ultimately, I go outside midnight to 6 a.m. Late night. But yeah, so I would just never be able to get up at 6 or 7 a.m. and go to sleep at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock p.m. Like, come on. If you can't at least stay up until midnight, that's just like, I don't know. It's just something about that. That and I'll never turn the heat on in my house. I'll turn the AC on, but I just won't turn the heat on. Now, that is because of where I live. Because if I lived somewhere, where it got actually cold, like, below 0 degrees or, at the very least below freezing, which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, um, then I probably would. But here in Florida, like right now, it's 41 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's like, first of all, if it was that every single night, then I might get bored of it and want it to be warmer inside. Because I don't really mind this right now. Like, I can take this off. It's basically just for show. But it's in the 40s in this room, and I don't really mind it. I'm not shivering. But if it was like this every night, I don't know. I mean, I say from time to time that I'd like it to be this every night, but I don't know. But it's not even though. It's just whenever there's a cool front, which is like a couple of times per month, a couple of months per year. So maybe like less than 10 times, and these cool fronts last a couple of days. So that's less than 30 days a year, which is less than which is less than 1/12. Because 30 days in a month, 12 months in a year. So that's like, so yeah, 1/12 of the time. And then out of that, it's nighttime versus daytime, which is half, and then late night. So it's basically like 1/50th of any given time of the year. It'll be like, you know, cold, jacket weather, basically. And so at that point, like, no, I'm gonna go outside in shorts and a t-shirt because it's pretty rare. So I want to enjoy it. Make the most of it because it's something different. And then in the summer, when it's the same thing every day, 92 degrees for the high and 78 degrees for the low, and daily thunderstorms at 4 p.m. or whatever, the sun sets at the same time, sun rises at the same time, like it's just a daily pattern and there's nothing you can do about it. But in the winter, it's unpredictable. It's 80 degrees some days, it's 60 degrees some days, and the lows can be 70 degrees some days and 30 degrees some days, so it's exciting. Tonight's low is 38 degrees, and then in a few days, the low is 67 degrees, so yeah, it's cool, friends. But yeah, so 10 a.m. is kind of early for basically anything a.m. I'm more of a p.m. person to get up. I don't like setting alarms. I just like waking up naturally, after however many hours of sleep I need, somewhere between 8 and 10 probably. And, so just waking up naturally and taking it slow, I'll to check what time it is, or, use any electronic devices or whatever, just fully waking up in as close to darkness as I can, and just like doing some like meditation or something to get going, just like stay in my room for an hour or two, and then go downstairs and eat breakfast and do the whole social thing and all that. Start my day. So I like to take things slow as far as that goes. But sometimes like tonight, tomorrow, whatever. For example, I have to set an alarm. That's 10 a.m. You gotta get up and just leap right on out of bed. Get some, chug a quick cup of coffee or whatever for some caffeine to make it through, and then and get going out of the house. I gotta be someone's ride. So yeah, yeah. I still probably get I'm still probably get more rides from people than I give rides to people, but I don't give rides to people because I do. But I gotta be someone's ride tomorrow. So yeah, I gotta be up and at 'em for some driving. So I don't want to stay up too late. I want to try to be asleep by like 4 a.m. so I can at least get 6 hours of sleep. I want to do a minute too, but then I decided like, nah, it's too good of a night to waste an opportunity for a Lavalamp chat. Because like a long time. So I just decided I'd do that. I've been really busy, which is good because I kind of do like, and no disrespect or anything, but not to make it seem like I don't care or anything. But I mean, YouTube isn't really my for when I wake up in a day, I don't say like, what video am I gonna make today? Like, it's just a side thing basically. Like if ever I'm bored or there's like a lull or like you know a plateau and like basically a dip in things going on, then I'll come to that and say like, oh, I can make a YouTube video. Most of the time, it's how I figure it out is if I go to watch a YouTube video, I'll resort to making one first. I'll say like, all right, now I can watch other people's stuff. It doesn't always work that way, but it's an imperfect world. But okay, I'm getting tired. I'm gonna move this light away. It's getting kind of irritating. I mean, it's not that bright, but I mean, oh, it's a shadow. Well, not as much, but yeah. So So yeah, I mean, it's not exactly the first thing I think about. I mean, I don't want to reveal, everything about my personal life because, I mean, suffice to say, I'm involved in a lot of things. I kind of dabble in. I mean, I think that's good. Like to be able to be known as not necessarily different people, but at least a different type of person in different contexts. Being well adaptive basically is like be able to fit into a variety of environments. Like I can basically adjust. I can size someone up pretty quickly and determine how to effectively communicate with them. Stuff like mostly psychology, but really get to know the basics of how all that works. But um, yeah, so suffice to say, I don't just sit around all day. I don't just, I don't have the average life of, the people I go to school with. Like just like do some homework, maybe work a part-time job or something, and go home and play video games and watch videos and maybe listen to music or something and eat and sleep. So, there's a lot more to my life than that. I did. Trust me, if that was my life, I'd be making a lot more YouTube videos. Because I'd probably sooner make a YouTube play video games or, watch too many other things. Or, you know, I mean, I don't really watch TV much at all. I watch Netflix sometimes or like, you know, um, online services, but as far as cable television, very rare. I do occasionally, but a couple of times a month, probably a couple of hours a month, maybe 10 hours a month. But yeah, not much. I know people watch 10 hours a day of TV. So that, in my opinion, that's a complete waste of time. To do that excessively. If there's a new episode of a show I really care about, or some kind of special presentation, or some kind of special like thing going on or something, then if I'm not doing something else, then I'll do it, because I'm not gonna like make it a point to say, oh, we gotta get home for the new episode of whatever. Like, no, I'd rather be out and about. But if I have not really much to do anyway, I'll just be like, oh, and then I'll take a break around this time to turn on the TV and you know um, but so that, I mean, sometimes, I mean, if I'm just really bored and for whatever reason I'm not able to make a YouTube video, then I'll turn it on occasionally, just a channel flip, just to kind of see what's on. And, I'll usually find something to watch. Not terribly, you know. As far as things I want to watch, it's just basically a handful of things that I absolutely don't want to watch. Categories, I mean, just a handful of things I don't want to watch, and say nothing, that, whatever. And so, basically anything else is fine, because I try to be open-minded, to new things. It's like I don't only listen to music that I'm familiar with. I don't only watch movies and TV shows that I'm familiar with, or only read books that I'm like. No, that's how you discover new things. You gotta try new things. You gotta expand your comfort zone. Gotta get some new familiarity. So that's what I try to do. But there's just certain things that I that I am kind of stubborn on, though. Like no, such and such is a complete waste of time, and it's just not something I have an interest in, and like whatever. I'm not gonna give away any specifics, but yeah, there are some things I feel that way about. But to each their own. Everybody got choices, right? So I don't care. I'll still be friends, just as long as there's some kind of common interest, or you know, some kind of as long as they have some kind of purpose in my life, like they're the person that I look to for, whatever. And as long as there's something on there, then that's fine. I don't care what they do with the rest of their time. But yeah. Anyway, so what else was I just saying? Yeah. So yeah, I don't really watch much TV. I mean, things do I do? And sleep. I mean, I guess I like breathing too. It's kind of interesting. So yeah, that's normal. Everybody I know breathes on a daily basis, or at least they claim to. Well, I don't always feel like talking. I've I think no, yeah, I have for sure. I've gone complete days without talking. Just whole days. Mainly if I'm alone, and there are some days that I'm just home alone and I'm just by myself all day, but or all night rather. But you know, yeah, I go entire days without talking. Sometimes I'm fine with it, but you know, I enjoy talking in a certain circumstance if I'm in the mood for it. You know, sometimes I like need to talk basically, and that's you know, if I need to talk, I'm gonna talk. Even if I'm by myself, I'll just talk to myself then. I don't care. But so sometimes I need to talk. Sometimes I want to. Sometimes I have no preference. Sometimes it just depends. And sometimes I can. So it's like a kindergarten book now, basically like a now I can read book. Is like some days I feel like talking, and some days Joshua feels like talking. Some days he doesn't, like, oh jeez. Yeah, I don't want to give all that vibe from this. But yeah, I mean, what else do I do that's normal on a daily basis? I mean, what is normal anyway, right? I mean, it's social constructs, basically. I don't want to get too deep into that either, but, I mean, that's all environment related, in my opinion. I mean, if you ask, people from every country what they consider to be a normal lifestyle, you're going to have 196 or however many, different, very drastically different answers. So it's all about environment. It's all about even with but California's work, which is very different from Texas, which is very different from Alaska, which is very different from Florida, which is very different from Michigan, which is very different from Colorado, which is very different from uh, you know like all the every area is very different from Hawaii, which is very different from Washington. So like so many different. Okay, now I got a gust of wind coming in from over there. Let's say it's a cool wind. So. Yeah, it's breezier than usual tonight. Usually when it's cold here, it's very unusual that there's like a 10-mile-per-hour sustained wind. I'm surprised it's not louder. I mean, that's good. I like it gentle like that. Just a gentle, cool breeze. I'm getting increasingly tired. And I have to get up in like 6.5 hours, so it's very tempting for me to just end this and go to sleep. But I'll go a little longer for the fans, whoever those are. If there's not now, there probably will be at some point, because that's how things work. Sometimes videos take years to get popular. So I feel like 10, 20, 30 years later, when I'm famous and all that, you can dig through the archives and discover this channel and be like, oh, so that was him, in his younger years before he was famous. I almost said my age, but I don't want to give that away because that's too. I mean, crap. I hope nobody said it on like the podcast or anything yet. Um, I gotta have to check, but yeah, I don't want to give that away, but anyway, I mean, it's not like anything terribly shocking. At least I don't think so. But still, yeah. Just keep them guessing, you know. Just like my last name, you know. Like I'm pretty sure no one said that because I don't think anyone who's been featured on my channel really knows or remembers it. But very few. I can probably count on one hand how many of my subscribers, at least that I know my last name. So that's another mystery, you know. I was like, you know, where. But in my opinion, like, well, I was gonna say something, but nah, forget it. But yeah, like it's some things about and like my daily schedule. You know, when will I leak that? Like probably eventually at some point. Once it changes, you know, once I'm famous, probably be like, oh yeah, back in the day, like this is what that was like. And no, don't worry, I'm not involved in any, you know, any like really criminal activity or, you know, I'm not part of like a gang or something. So you can cross that one off your suspicion list. But I just have a lot of unusual habits and a lot of unusual thoughts about things that lead to unusual choices. And just a very interesting cards, you know, just for my life. You know, very interesting. I'm not in like the top rich, you know, class elites, but I'm not like, you know, living under a bridge, like life in poverty, you know, homeless, you know, whatever, um, you know, really poor either. So, you know, I could have it better. I could have it worse. I could have it a lot worse, actually. Um, I'm aware of that. So, you know, it's a very interesting hand I'm dealt, like going into researching my ancestry, you know, my family history. It's like, wow, you know, like I'll hear stories, you know, from my parents or something about relatives or, you know, like something, and you know, I'm just trying to. It's a big puzzle I'm trying to piece together, you know, everything about what was everybody's lives like, you know, like who are these people that I'm kind of related to, you know. So it's really interesting. And also just a bunch of stuff that's going on now, you know, in the present. Because the past is one thing, but the present's another, and like a lot of interesting things going on in my household right now. Um, I don't think you'll ever hear me talk about much of that, but yeah, a lot of it's certainly boring, which is good because boredom is a waste of an emotion. And if you're bored, then you're doing something wrong with your life, and you need to drastically reconsider how you spend your time. You know, you should never be bored. There's so much to do. It's ridiculous. So if you do the same thing every day, waste life. You know, you have to mix it up a little. And trust me, there are opportunities too. I don't care, you know, where you live, what you do. You know, you can mix it up. You can be different. Yeah, that's just not an acceptable excuse. I've had people tell me like, you know, I want to, you know, try new things, but I can't. I'm just stuck inside my house, and I don't have any money, and, you know, access to a lot of different things, and so, you know, I'll just say like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like it's up to you. It's your choice. There's so much you can do for free, you know, like that. You know, that'd be different. So many different things we do, basically. Get a little longer if we get on, you know, an hour. I'm getting tired. Anyway, now I better not lay down because I might fall asleep live. So uh, I gotta stay see that. But so quite interesting life. But I mean, who doesn't really? I mean, if you think about it, you can make anybody's life sound interesting. You know. Well, for me, oh, you have to try. Those daily details of some people. Whoa. Wow, okay. You know, I try not to ever call myself, you know, misfortunate or anything like that. I mean, like, it kind of aggravates me sometimes, and you know, people go around saying like, "Oh, my life sucks," you know, it's horrible. Like, I can't stand my life, you know. It's. I mean, I was gonna use like I hate myself as an example, but that's something else. That's like, you know, depression and like mental illness. That's not always something people can control. But I mean, like, as far as their perception of their reality, you know, their perception of their environment and all that, like, you know, oh, my family sucks, or, you know, my house sucks, or, you know, like my job, or, you know, whatever. And so it's like, well, you know, is it everything else that sucks, or is it you? You know, it's like eventually you have to ask yourself these questions. And so I know, I know people like that. Oh, I think everybody does. You know, everybody knows something. Yeah, everybody knows someone. So, but yeah, there's this one person in particular I'm thinking of right now. You know, who I used to have class with, and you know, just every time I come in, it's just the day to day drama. It's like, oh, geez, like, yeah, like, it must be nice to have absolutely nothing else to worry about, to have such minuscule, insignificant, petty things like have such priority in your brain. Like, more interesting to talk about, you know? Like, I don't know. I've just never really been into, like, you know, gossip or rumors, like chinwag, like that kind of stuff. That's one of the things I feel is just kind of a waste of time. Just like, why? Why do you do that? Like, I'm not gonna, you know, hate people for that. Like, you know, if that's what you're into for whatever reason, then go ahead. You know, it's just as long as it's not affecting me, basically. Um, just move this over here. There we go. Oh, there we go. All right. So, closer to the light now. I just move the light further away. That's better. But yeah, so I just try never to remind myself of any of those people. You know, I try not to be like them, basically. So, like, you know, I think before I complain. You know, the things is like, is it all that bad? I don't know. I try to be an optimist. Sort. You know, not everyone I'm around is an optimist. Very few people are, that I see on a daily basis. But they are out there, you know, they are around. So I just try to kind of meander, you know, migrate over to positive energy whenever I can, whenever I have the option, you know. And if there is no positive energy around you, then make positive energy. I mean, you can, you know, you can. Definitely. I mean, emotions are very much contagious. You know, I don't think they aren't. You feel however the people around you feel, basically, you know. You can be as happy go lucky as you want, and then, you know, if you come across someone who's like, you know, really angry and bitter and hateful of a person, and you're like stuck in a room with them all day, by the end of the day you're not going to be as happy anymore, you know. Or if you're just around someone who's like really depressed or, just really sad or so. And by the way, that's not to say that depression is the same as sadness, because it's not. But like depressed or sad, or like just basically like a downer of a person. And so you know like you're not gonna be as upbeat anymore. So basically, like, if you're gonna take anything away from this, it should be, don't be that person that brings others down if you can help it. Like, at least for the sake of other people, try to try to be try to be positive if you can. That doesn't mean, that doesn't mean in a like a fairy tale sense. That doesn't mean in like a in an unrealistic, exaggerated proportion. Like, oh, there's good in everyone, and good will always win over evil, and it's a fair, just world, and you know you can do anything you want to do, and you're invincible. Don't let anyone ever tell you no. Like, I'm not going to give you any of those cliche, generic messages. There's a lot more. That would be very ignorant things to say, because the world is a little more complex than that. A lot more complex than that. There's a lot of factors at play. So you can't just make claims like that and then just be done with it. You'd have to, it to say something of that magnitude, you need a lot of evidence. So basically, it's like, I'm not gonna preach to anyone, about my philosophy or my. I mean, I kind of did explain my philosophy a little bit, but like I said, I don't care. I'm like, for example, I find cynical humor to be very funny. If done correctly. There's some YouTube channels and like movies and comedians and stuff like that that are, you know, that basically just specialize in like making fun of things and like basically saying how various things suck or are terrible, or whatever. That can be. There's definitely a time and a place for that. I'm just saying, like, I doubt that that's how they are all the time. That like they go home and they're like, they eat breakfast and like, this food sucks. Like it's one of the, like like Angry Video Game Nerd, for example. If you go to my liked videos playlist, you'll see quite a bit of them are from him. Like James Ralph, like, you think every time he plays a video game he's like, oh, whatever, just like vulgarities and like this magic. Like, no, that's the character. It's comedy. That's something different. Like, so that's one thing. Like, so yeah, there's definitely a time and a place for everything, but just basically, I would say, choose your battles. Not everything's worth your energy. Not everything's worth talking about. Not everything's worth thinking about, even. Like, there's some things that are just like, what? There's so many more productive things, so many more efficient or beneficial things that could be thinking about right now. It's just like, nah, it's not worth it. So, you just got to decide, what's important. Whatever is important to you. Pick maybe 10 things. Make a list of the top 10 things that are important to you. With basically how to spend your time, and make sure you can cross those off on a regular basis. Like, maybe not every day, but every week at least. Like, at the end of every week, say, did I do all 10 of these things to my satisfaction? If yes, then good. If not, then hold up. Maybe you should rework your schedule a little bit or something. But anyway, that's a discussion for another time, because I could talk for a while about all that. Anyway, I mean, should I just go for an hour? Should I just go for another 10 minutes here? I don't know. No, I'm sorry. I need to get some sleep. There's not even anybody listening right now. Anyway. Not that I was planning on that, because I've been doing just fine on my own. But I don't know. I don't know what would have happened if other people here. Just haven't been able to test that out yet. But these Lavalamp chats are basically different every time. I'm in a different mood every time, you know. I feel different ways, different days, you know. What can I say? Miss my eye. There we go. There we go. So yeah, tell all your friends how awesome I am and how awesome this channel is and how they absolutely need to check it out. You have to check out this channel. It is crazy. This kid is this guy, man. He's Joshua. I mean, you know, this, I don't know. Whatever. Have a have a night as wonderful as it. So have a wonderful night, and well, you can go back and watch my videos anytime, so you can see me whenever. I don't know when I'll see you, but you can see me